The upcoming Tian Xia books for Pathfinder are really special to us. You see, my partner Grady, whom you see on the channel here every now and again, was a writer on them. His first hardcover Pathfinder credit, and I could not be more proud. Tian Xia is the Asian analog setting for Pathfinder. It is a hugely diverse continent that takes inspiration from Asian mythology and culture. Currently, we have 2 full APs that take place there, the very popular Fists of the Ruby Phoenix, and the current AP Seasons of Ghosts, which Grady also wrote for this book here, actually. We are not going to do a full review today of the upcoming book, the Tian Xia World Guide, but I am here to give you a little preview of it thanks to our friends at Paizo. We're going to introduce you to some of the new and updated Tian Xia deities that you can include in your game to have a huge impact on your adventure. So, listen up as we give you a little preview of the Tian Xia World Guide. This video is brought to you by Hit Point Press. Are you ready to introduce a whole new style of dragon to your 5e campaigns? The Field Guide to Floral Dragons is a lushly illustrated hardcover book with 26 brand new floral dragons, plus pests, pollinators, and fungi, not to mention new magic items and poisons, all with rich lore, biology, habitats, stat blocks, and story hooks. From the tiny-sized, plain-hopping dandelion dragon, to the haughty and toxic larkspur dragon, to the kind-hearted avuncular apple tree dragon. You'll be able to get the book plus reference cards, minis, and more in the Kickstarter launching on April 2nd, 2024. But if you sign up now, you can get a free Vespin Spin Pen D6 with your pledge. Use our links in the corner or down below to sign up. And check out the Field Guide to Floral Dragons on Kickstarter in April. Let's start with Lao Shu Po, the so-called Rat Woman. And just forgive me right off the bat with my pronunciation for the names and everything in this video. I am doing my level best, I promise you. Now, this is the goddess of night, rats, and thieves. Followers stick to the shadows among societies like downtrodden, and they prefer to steal what they want rather than work for it. Definitely a good choice for thieves who don't necessarily have that heart of gold. Now, each of these deities gets a full page of lore and gameplay mechanics, but today I'm just going to be hitting the highlights for you. Lao Shu Po here walks the walk. She basically stole her godhood as a common rat who sought out the grave of the god of the moon and ate him. She's not what you would call a benevolent goddess, but she's not destructive. She and her followers just want to survive. Next up is Mugura and Nrithu, the divine dancers whose areas of concern are dance and storytelling, lovers and rivals, and fame and gratitude. They are indeed a pair of lovers turned rivals. They were mute and communicated through gesture and dance, which brought them close. But when they were granted the boon of godhood to perform together forever, their relationship soured until they were bitter rivals. We've heard this story before. These days, their favor is sought by strong pairings of people, and they teach and encourage their followers to be good partners to each other. This is Nalinivati, the Serpent's Kiss, goddess of family, fertility, snakes, and sorcery. Followers are encouraged to seek out and use magic and poison, to heal poisons, and bear or adopt children, and to raise snakes. They're forbidden from hurting harmless snakes, spurn friends due to jealousy or romantic competition, or to betray their offspring, or to separate lovers. Now, she is often prayed to when people get ready to start a family, and if you're an arcane user who wants her blessing, consider having a snake as a familiar. She also created the Nagaji playable ancestry that can be found in the Impossible Lands book. Next up, we have Phi Deva, the thousand-souled chorus. And indeed, Phi Deva is made up of 1,000 nameless faces and voices, those that can't defend themselves. They're one god, and they're many, and they're often worshipped by common people who need protection. Adherents must protect the defenseless and assist those who ask for help, and put the many before the few or the one. They cannot harm the innocent, take more than they need, or overturn a collective decision. Zhong is known as the Master of Medicine, whose areas of concern are indeed health, medicine, as well as the cycles and the elements. Zhong started off as basically Dr. Quinn medicine woman, a traveling medic who focused on helping those who needed medical attention without being an imposition himself. As a god himself now, he implores his followers to teach others, to relieve suffering, and to do no harm. Oh, and his temples are somehow always filled up with cranes. The birds, not the big machines. Shizuru has appeared in a number of forms, from the golden dragon you see here, to a woman with long hair wearing armor emblazoned with a rooster, which sounds amazing. She is the ruler of heaven, whose areas of concern are ancestors, order, the sun, and growth. She gave the imperial families of Minkai the divine right to rule. While she is primarily concerned with growth and order, she did, interestingly, break with order when she implored Zhong to resurrect her lover, Tsukiyo, the moon god, who we'll talk about a little bit later, and who we mentioned a little earlier. Worshippers of Shizuru are ritualistic, tasked with practicing their skills every day, honoring their ancestors, and protecting nature and society. They must not abandon a companion in need, harm the innocent, parley with truce breakers, separate lovers, or cast an unholy spell. Next, I've got a 3-for-1. Here we go. This is going to be a hard one to pronounce for me. Srikalis, Sritaming, and Sribaril. Ariel? Collectively known as the Dwang Aya, the three-headed god of raiding and war. I think I got all that right. They're not the kind of god who sits around and answers prayers. They're more like the kind of god who randomly shows up at bars to lay the smackdown on people who deserve it, which seems like an amazing moment in the campaign to me. As you might imagine, this deity appears to warriors and mercenaries and raiders and pirates. They're not evil, really. Their edicts are to revel in protective violence, to support what is yours, and die in battle. They must not lay waste to nature, kill indiscriminately, or choose not to raid when necessary. Sun Wukong is our Monkey King, the rebellious god of drunkenness, nature, and trickery. You know that he and Caden Kalian has some good nights out. He learned martial arts and magical arts under the tutelage of Irori, but was just too chaotic for him, and for all the gods, really. Shizuru eventually ordered his execution, but Sun Wukong snuck into the boneyard, removing his name from Pharasma's records, apparently making it so he couldn't be removed from existence. And Sun Wukong is one who shows up on the material plane a lot, causing mischief and fighting evil, and I definitely want a mini of him. Here's Tsukiyo, yes, the prince of the moon and the lover of Shizuru. He is an ever-changing god, changing like the phases of the moon. Before he was murdered, he was boisterous, but after his resurrection, he was kind of distant and contemplative, becoming a god for social outcasts and lost spirits. Edicts include helping people without judging them, helping the dead find their rest, and helping the powerless get their voice heard. They can never hurt others out of envy, force help on those who don't want it, inflict mental anguish on others as punishment, commit murder, or hurt the innocent. Enough of these bleeding hearts. Let's get to some actual bloodletting with Yaezhing, the minister of blood who oversees harsh justice, murder, and punishment. He was tasked to punish Tsukiyo's murderer by burying him alive. He is the god of assassins and executions, but he's also prayed to by those wrongfully accused, as he may dish out some divine justice for them too. It's all business to Yaezhing. Edicts include committing assassinations for pay, striking unseen, and carrying out punishment for those who deserve it. But it is anathema to show mercy to a target, to take credit for your own assassinations, or to slaughter indiscriminately. The last deity who gets a full page is Yamatsumi. For those of you who speak a little bit of Japanese, you won't be surprised to learn that he is the god of mountains, volcanoes, and winter, also known as the Mountain Lord. Kind of an old school god here. He lives in the mountaintop, watches his followers in the valleys below, and dishes out wrath when he's feeling unhappy. He is the god of folks who eschew civilization. His edicts include being self-sufficient, respecting nature, and testing your mettle against nature. Just don't become reliant on civilization or destroy something without creating something in its place. Now, of course, these aren't the only deities in Tian Xia, and our core Pathfinder gods have a presence here as well, but the interpretation and worship of those gods can be somewhat different given the cultural context. The book gives us about half a page each on Abadar, Desna, Lamashtu, Pharasma, and Shaylin. For example, our god of commerce, Abadar, has more of a focus on building up the infrastructure of cities and civilizations in Tian Xia. He is known as the god of walls and ditches here. Finally, our little religion section of the book gives us details on various philosophies that influence the people of the region. Here we learn about the School of Order, the Path of Mysteries, the teachings of the river, which Grady has a little hand in somewhere in this book. I think I can say that. And the Way of Spirits. These philosophies don't have gameplay mechanics tied to them exactly, but you can use them when you're developing your characters or the NPCs to make Tian Xia campaigns feel like they take place in a real location, where people have their own view of reality separate from ours. I think it can be a struggle for people like me who grew up in rural Georgia, to try to simulate a universe based on Asian cultures and mythology and not have it seem shallow and stereotypical. But by reading and learning and employing information like this, these deities, these philosophies in this book, you are going to have the tools you need to make your world come to life. And that's what Lost Omens books like the Tian Xia World Guide are for. They are lore heavy to make your games come to life. These 2 Tian Xia books are coming soon. This information is from the Tian Xia World Guide, but we're also getting the Tian Xia Character Guide, creating working for them. The Tian Xia World Guide is about 304 pages long and releases on April 24th, 2024. The print edition has an MSRP of $79.99, and the PDF is $29.99. The special edition, which you can see here, is $99.99. The Tian Xia Character Guide, which has 6 new ancestries plus feats and items and more, is coming in August 2024, so let's stay tuned for that for more information. Let me know what you're excited about down below, and don't forget to check out the Floral Dragon Kickstarter, launching soon to get an amazing bestiary of floral-themed dragons from Hit Point Press, and can join me on social media at one of the sites over here. For now, though, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.